once again. Welcome back to Airsoft Al's channel, Team SOTRF Weekend. This is Brock and Chris, Wraith and Token from Team SOTRF. Again, back at you guys with another question.
Back at it again.
We both use, respectively, AEGs and HPA setups, high pressure air setups, in Airsoft for our primary weapons. And we were just wondering what you guys thought of each propulsion system and whether you use HPA versus AEG and, you know, the benefits and drawbacks you've had using each. I guess AEG is pretty much the tried and trusted,
Standard,
it's definitely been around for the longest time,
we
and
have more experience,
especially in like the past 5 years. AEG technology has gotten really good.
Yeah.
I'm running just a combat machine G&G setup. This is the Firehawk build. It's got a nice Tango down grip that comes with it. Really short barrel, which I love. Got a really aggressive flash hider on there right now. I love this gun because of how short it is, and also I got it flat hopped, so I can engage targets out to like 100, 115 feet easily. And I really enjoy using this gun. I've had this gun for about 2 years, and it's held up very well with pretty minimal upkeep.
And then I'm running the Crytek CRB. I've had this probably going on a year and some change now. It's completely bone stock. I've done absolutely nothing.
And Crytek's really are one of those products that out of the box you don't have to
do anything to. If you break it open, it's like my question's why. Because you don't need to.
Exactly.
Stock from the factory is
great.
Perfect.
Hop up on them too.
I've literally, it's been going strong. I've only fielded this gun at MilSim events. So that's how awesome it is. Like, I literally don't have to do anything to it. Put it down for a little bit, pick it back up, be good to go. Right out of the box. It's awesome.
And then we both run the Tippmann system. Yeah. So Tippmann, as in Tippmann paintball, also makes an airsoft gun. This is the Tippmann M4. I have mine set up with the MOE furniture from Magpul. The cool part about Tippmann is that because of the way that it's built, it's all mil-spec, and all of the handguards you have to get for it and the stocks, they all have to be real steel, so it's stuff that would go on real AR-15s. Exactly. So for training purposes, that's super cool. They either run on CO2 magazines, which are pretty efficient, but have some problems. We actually both run ours on the HPA system, so it uses the Tippmann micro line right here, that goes into an HPA tank, like HPA like in scuba diving or for paintball guns. And that just sits on our back. We have a tube that comes through here, and then that powers the gun at a constant 800 PSI. And the cool part is it's adjustable feet per second and adjustable hop up when you break the gun down.
Yep.
So in that aspect, you can pretty much set this up however you want. They have a 10.5 inch or 10.4 inch barrel or something like that. A 14, which is the standard, which is what we both have, and then a 20 for like if you're going to do like a DMR build. And you've got the key mod on yours.
As you can see, I'm following with the Crytek
and the short dot.
And the short dot. Following with the Crytek. I really love the Crytek key mod, so I just went ahead and put one on my Tippmann. I'm also running a MOE
fixed stock.
Fixed stock.
It's a great stock on Amazon for like $40 if you're looking for a good stock for like an AR-15 or something that's going to have.
It's a great length of pull too. It's really awesome. I'm around 6'1", 250 pounds, and it's no problem for me. I can really choke up on the gun if I really want to get that C-clamp going on, you know what I'm saying? But it's awesome. I really love it. I have no problem.
And with both our handguard setups, the key mod and the MOE, it really enhances one of the cool features about the Tippmann marker. And that is, it has a functioning recoil system. Yep. So it's got a buffer tube and it's got a buffer spring, and every time you're going to pull the trigger, you're going to feel slight recoil. It's nothing like if you're actually shooting a 5.56. But it's pretty cool. There are some modifications out there, the heavy bolt systems, spacers, things like that to increase that recoil. I personally don't recommend doing any of those to your Tippmann. If you want to, that's fine. You just have to know that if you do those mods to it, you are going to be putting more wear and tear on the gun. So for longevity purposes, both Chris and I have pretty much kept ours stock.
But there is a big community out there of modding, and so you can really find them on Facebook, you know, anytime.
The Tippmann Facebook, the Tippmann Arms owners page is a great resource for if you're going to be doing any modifications to your HPA system.
So there's a big community, like I said. So if you do want to do anything like that, you know, be able to know that you're gonna need to reach out to people and figure out what they've done, so you don't.
And in some cases, have a little bit of experience customizing stuff.
And probably a little bit of extra
especially like gas blowback stuff as well. So both of us use AEGs and HPA setups pretty much interchangeably, depending on the game and depending on how we're feeling that day. And there are some strengths and weaknesses to both. One big complaint I've heard from a lot of people is hoses. I mean, when you hook your gun up to a hose here, you're always going to have something pulling at the gun. And if you've also got a sling attachment point on the gun, this, you know, if you get it caught on something or you're running past a tree and a stick gets in there, it's going to hold you up for a second. It's not going to ruin your day. No. It's not going to, you know, greatly affect you, but it will cause you some inconvenience. So a lot of people do complain about the hose, and that's why a lot of Tippmann users actually use the CO2 mags because it's, you know, less in the way. And so from that aspect, I'd say advantage AEG because no hoses. All you got to do is put a battery in there. But the battery is a drawback. And
the big drawback is
the cool part about the Tippmann is you don't need a battery.
No battery.
You don't need anything.
Mechanical.
It's a purely mechanical system, which is really unique for HPA systems. Polarstars, Wolverine, Inferno, that kind of stuff. You're going to be running a small LiPo battery in there to power the computer that is running the whole system. In this, it's literally just air. So because it's completely mechanical, you have an advantage into you don't have to charge batteries the night beforehand. You don't have to worry about running out of battery. You do have to worry about running out of air, though.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest, and refilling your air, too. Most fields...
I have 2 tanks.
I only have 1 currently, but most fields usually have some type of... True. Most fields usually have some type of fueling station, especially if it's a paintball field that you're going to. But usually...
And HPA fields are very cheap.
Yeah, they're very, very cheap.
Couple bucks.
I will just say make sure you have 2 tanks. I'm talking to myself here. Make sure you have 2 tanks if you're going to go with the HPA system.
Definitely.
Not knowing exactly where you're going to go, especially those Milsim ops. I haven't had any problems yet, but, you know, just...
It's gotten pretty low in air.
Yeah, gotten extremely low to where I had to switch to my AEG second day.
So both of us have had some accuracy/consistency problems with the Tippmann. It's pretty typical. There are some mods that can do, and there's some mods that we've done, small mods like the tape mod, that have increased. Basically, there's a big FPS fluctuation sometimes. Sometimes it's just that you need to break the gun in. Sometimes it's just that you need to lube the gun up because there is some care that's involved with getting a system like this, a more expensive HPA system. But honestly, both of our flat-hopped AEGs can shoot further, more accurate, and more consistent than our Tippmanns.
Yeah.
We love playing with the Tippmanns because the recoil's awesome and it sounds great. And you know,
pop, you really feel like you're like.
When you and a couple guys with Tippmanns open up, everybody on the field's kind of like, whoa, what's going on
over there?
It's a loud system, which is cool, and I really like that part of it. But honestly, this little Firehawk with this tiny barrel, flat-hopped, can shoot further than this 14-inch Tippmann barrel. So, in my opinion, most of the time, I've been using this AEG because it's reliable, but I always bring my Tippmann as my backup because I know don't need batteries for it. It works every time. And I do enjoy using the Tippmann system. And depending on the game type we're doing, I might, use the Tippmann over the AEG. It really just depends on the day and how we're feeling. The cool part is, too, I lent this gun out to a couple of my teammates. It's very easy to use. And basically, it's a good backup gun to have just because of the no battery factor.
Yep. You can just plug and go. That's probably the biggest factor about the Tippmann.
Now, the other part of the HPA conversation that we don't have, we can't talk about, is the Polarstar.
Yeah.
Polarstar systems are incredibly expensive versus the Tippmann, which starts at about $450.
And then you gotta buy
a tank and line. So you're looking at about $500 plus bucks to get a Tippmann set up. Your average Polarstar system, I'd say, would be between $700 and $1,000, depending on what kind of setup and what kind of body you're dropping it into. But the Polarstar systems, because they are so good, are incredibly accurate. We're talking 300 feet accuracy, no problem, depending on how you set it up.
It just flies. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. But one of the cool things about the Tippmann that I like over the Polarstar, and one of the reasons I chose it over getting a Polarstar system is because of the pure mechanical factor, and it has a mechanical trigger. It's a real trigger.
Yeah, that's very true.
A Polarstar is a button. It's just like a paintball gun with a computer in it. It's just a tiny button that you're pressing, and there's hardly any trigger reset. On this, there is true trigger reset because it's a mechanical trigger. Also, the Tippmann, you can crank up the rate of fire on them, but you can't get it over 1,000. I'm sure that there's people out there with super bolts or crazy mods that make them go fast, but stock, they're not going to go shoot super fast. And those Polarstar systems, you can get cranking out 30 rounds, 40 rounds a second if you want to, which is stupid. You don't need to shoot that fast. It's Vulcan minigun speeds.
Exactly. And one thing I've learned about the Tippmann is that it actually shoots a little better when on semi versus fully auto.
I would say definitely.
I don't know why. Maybe it's a air sufficiency or something going on, but semi-automatic is the way to go if you're gonna go with a Tippmann. And plus, you can really it's a real trigger. You can really try
for training purposes, and if you're trying to get realism out of it.
Exactly, and then if you have a fast trigger finger, hey, go right at it. You know, lay on them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can do it, but it's a superior gun. I love it. I love both my AEG and my Tippmann. I think Brock Cannon agrees with me, and
they're both great.
It's awesome.
I'm glad I have both because there's good and bad things about each system, and when I want to implement whichever part of the good part I'm looking for, I'll grab the one I need.
Exactly.
So basically, what do you guys use? AEGs are definitely the more popular system, but HPA has been really popular in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So what do you have? What do you like? And if you've used both, which did you like better? So like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to both of our channels, Airsoft Al and SOTRFairsoft. We'll put links in the description below. And you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Airsoft Al will return on Monday.